Hey, I'm Morgan from FinePoints.biz, and I love helping you guys get organized. I have a new video about bookkeepers each week. I haven't done a Q&A in a while, so that's what I'm going to do today. Alright, so these are all from the comment section of my YouTube video. Definitely leave me a comment down below at the bottom of this video because I'll use this for my next Q&A next time I do one. The first three questions are kind of about like billing and hours and that kind of thing. So I'm going to talk about those first. I have my computer sitting right here in front of me, so I might refer to that when I'm reading the questions. Darren and Sasha asked, how do I handle billing for time spent on the phone to get everything up and running? Is it all billable hours from the time that they sign the contract? So I offer a free initial consultation that's half an hour that people can do for free, obviously, like what I just said. So I don't charge for that, but then after they decide to hire me, we start like training, what I consider training, and I do charge for that. I've mentioned before, I'm trying to get to mostly a fixed rate pricing method, so the same amount each month, but sometimes it is hard at the beginning to figure out how much time things are going to take, especially if you don't really know how messy things are or the client's systems and that kind of thing. I do often, if their books are a mess, charge hourly for the first like month or two, I'd say. So similarly, Jen asked, how long do I work on an hourly basis? She said, can she do it, or should she do it for 1 month or 2 months? So I think, again, if the books are in good shape, do it as quickly or as little time as possible. But if it's messier, it might take a couple months. So I think 1 month should be fine, Jen. All right, and then Alexander asked, am I doing this full time and can it just be done on the weekend, and how many hours do I spend on these tasks? So I just work 2 days a week. It's like my side hustle. I'm a mom, and so I wanted to stay home with my kids. And so that was kind of like my original, my main thing. And then I do bookkeeping kind of on the side. And as my kids get older and more independent, I spend more and more time bookkeeping. So I do it 2 days a week. And I did but you definitely could do it full time. Tons of people do it full time. You could just do it on the weekends. You can do it whenever you want. It's super flexible, which I love. Oh, I did just make a video called Small, Medium, and Large Clients that I'll leave linked up here. And that will tell you exactly kind of like the hour breakdown, what different size clients look like. Oh, I also have a video called Month in the Life that talks about like basically minute by minute, like how long each task takes me. So check out that video as well if you're interested. All right, Shannon asked, did I take accounting classes before I started my own business? So what I did personally was I took, I think, a couple QuickBooks and accounting classes at my local community college online. And that cost a couple $100, and that was 7 years ago. And now I know a lot more resources that are available. So I have a whole video on this called Learn Bookkeeping that has all my best and favorite ideas for how to learn bookkeeping. And just the reason that I always put so many like links to my other videos is because I've already talked about these things in really depth and with a lot of thought. And so I don't want to be repeating myself all the time, right? Again, on like a Q&A. So if you go to that video, get like my really well thought out answers. And like that video that I just mentioned has like a whole thing you could download that has all of the links to all the different classes and everything. So check out that video if you're interested in learning bookkeeping. All right, so Shay says she's just getting started and setting up her business, and she wants to know some good clients or some examples of clients that would be good for starting out. So I always recommend starting out with service providers. So they are great because usually they don't have inventory. So if you work for like a shop, like a clothing shop or something, you often have to kind of manage that inventory, like all their stuff. But service providers, so like lawyers, plumbers, piano teachers, anyone that's like kind of teaching, tutoring, or doing like a task for money are great to start out with. I started out with a jewelry designer and a florist. Neither of them took inventory. So those are great clients to start out with, as well as, really the smaller the business is, the easier it is to manage and to picture and to understand all the components of it. And when you're starting out, I think things can seem overwhelming. But if you just start out with the categorizing income and expenses, just do that first for your first client, and then you can add on invoicing or bill pay or other things. So just start out really small and then it won't be as overwhelming. All right, Hannah asks, and a lot of people ask me this, if I have a favorite business bank account. I don't know why I tend to like Chase, like I have no affiliation with Chase. Let me know in the comments if you hate Chase or if you like Chase. The thing I like about them, especially when clients have them, is that it's really compatible with QuickBooks. Like they let you have a lot of old transactions. So if you have a client, their books are really behind, Chase lets you catch up more than just some banks only let you do like the last 3 months, but Chase I just feel like is always really easy to use and I never have a problem with them. But I mean, I haven't used like every bank, so let me know if you have any favorites. All right, and Jackie asked, do I recommend having E&O insurance? Yes, I do. That's errors and omissions insurance. So if you as a bookkeeper make a mistake, an error, or you omit something, then that insurance helps you so that you are not personally liable, or, like what insurance does. It covers the cost if you get sued or if you make a mistake. So I definitely recommend doing that around the time or before you get your first paid client. All right, and Whitney was asking if it is a good time to start a bookkeeping business, especially because of everything that was happening in 2020 and maybe still is happening. Just with, a harder economy, is it a good time to start a bookkeeping business? And I mean, I can only speak anecdotally to this. I don't have like statistics and stuff, but I will say I've heard of multiple bookkeepers who actually were able to grow their business in 2020. And that's because, one, they were 100% virtual. They were already set up for that. So that is obviously how a lot of people are trending now, especially in 2020 they were. And then overall, as there becomes more and more resources, we can work more virtually. And also there was other things happening, like for example, like the PPP, so the Paycheck Protection Program. Businesses had a more focus on their finances and they wanted to apply for that loan. And so they were looking for virtual bookkeepers to help them do things like that, and maybe to do some advising or, just with an increased look at finances and more financial tasks that need to be done. That is good for bookkeepers, right? And in my personal experience, like as long as your clients' businesses are not going under, like they pretty much always keep you on. So that's one thing I like about bookkeeping, is that you don't always continually have to be finding clients, but once you have your, 5 clients or 10 clients or however many you want, you just stick with them and you don't have to continually be marketing and finding more people. And I understand that you might be starting out and so you're wondering like, oh, am I even going to be able to find clients? I think people do, and you can. It depends probably on a little bit on your situation and personality and how hard you are working for it. But overall, I feel like a poor economy is bad for everyone, right? But it's not bad for bookkeepers more than other professions. So it's not good, but I don't think bookkeepers suffer any more than others. All right, so Victoria was asking about when I talked about working with a CPA. So she was wondering if I pay for the CPA and they are working through me, or if my client has a CPA. So as a bookkeeper, I feel like I'm kind of like under a CPA, so I go to them for higher level questions that I'm not qualified to answer. And so the answer to your question is usually my clients already have a CPA that they're working with. So I am happy to recommend a CPA just because I know more CPAs if a business owner needs it. But usually they have hired their own CPA, they pay for them, and then they also pay for me. So it's like they're basically paying 2 different people. And the advantage for the business owner is they could have their CPA or their accountant do all of their bookkeeping, but that's going to be charged at a much higher rate because those people are, again, like kind of like the next level up. They've had to do a lot of schooling and a lot of taking tests, and they have a lot of deeper knowledge. And so you're going to pay more for bookkeeping from an accountant than you would pay to have a bookkeeper do bookkeeping. So I hope that answers your question, but basically, usually the client already has a CPA. All right, and this is a question I get a lot about the free bookkeeper certification. So Kristen asks, do I need to have my accounting firm's name when I'm signing up for the free QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor certification? This is the video that tells all about it. It's, I think, my most popular video. And so you do not have to have your business name like 100% decided. You could just make up a name, like you could say Morgan's Bookkeeping Firm. And then you could use that kind of as a placeholder if you're just getting your training. And then if you decide to change your name later, you can always just change it within the program. And I know it's called QuickBooks Online Accountant, which seems like it would be only for accountants, but you can also use it as a bookkeeper. So if you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out because that's a great resource that you can get that certification for free. All right, and Danielle asks, hey Danielle, she asks if I can share my key performance indicators spreadsheet. So I could probably do a video in more depth on this. Let me know in the comments down below if that would interest you. I was talking about this in my Impress Your Clients video. I was just looking at the title down there. But so what a key performance indicator is it's basically whatever your client wants to track. I think in this video I was talking about an attorney's office that I was doing KPIs, key performance indicators for. And for this, he wanted to track one, how much each attorney was making, and specifically how much he has like a high performer, like the one that makes the most. So he wanted to track how much everyone was making compared to this one person. And he actually was able to share that information, with his employees to be like, oh, look, like this is the potential of how much you could make. So that was one thing we used as a KPI. The second thing was how much he was spending on advertising, and then kind of comparing that to profit. So was his advertising budget worth it, basically? And the third one was kind of just a big project they were working on just that year. So they were moving to a new building, and there was a lot of expenses incurred in that. So he wanted to track that. And how I made the KPI sheet, I might do some research and see if there's like other ideas out there. But I just took the profit and loss and I collapsed it. So in QuickBooks, you can, if you have a bunch of things listed under a heading, you can collapse it so you just see like the main headings. So I collapsed my profit and loss into like the main like 5 categories or something. And then I pulled out the important pieces of data and kind of highlighted it. And then I made a shared Google spreadsheet that both the owner and I can log into. And so that he can see, okay, I know how much this person made. I know how much all the rest of my employees made. And then I can see how much I'm spending on this big project, and I can see how much I'm spending on advertising. So, and they were like kind of highlighted in a certain way. So it was just like a different way of organizing data. And that came based on what the business owner wanted to know. Because I had a meeting with my client and I was like, what are the most important things to your business? Like, what do you want to be keeping track of? And then I just helped him find a way to organize that in a way that was like clear and concise, and he could track it month after month. So I hope that makes sense, but let me know if you want to talk more about KPIs, and I can look into other people's ideas and, just kind of expand on that in the future, because I'm actually interested in that topic as well. All right, Michael asked, do I have a standard chart of accounts that I use for new customers that I could share? So I pretty much always use the chart of accounts that already comes in QuickBooks Online. I think when you first start, there's a couple different business choices, and then they give you the chart of accounts based on that. And then I have had a client before who was a little more specialized that gave me the chart of accounts that they wanted to use. They said, oh, I want these categories. But I don't really have like a standard one that I keep in my files or anything. I just use the one in QuickBooks that comes with it. And then I tweak it. I do tweak it a lot as I go along. So depending on the business needs. But so to answer your question, no, but QuickBooks has one already in there. All right, and Jennifer asks, do I have some clients that use cash or accrual? And that just means the cash method is like how much literally cash you have in your business, and accrual would be like how much is coming in and out that's not realized yet. So, maybe you have outstanding invoices that need to be collected still, or maybe you have bills, like a check hasn't been cashed yet. So I'd say usually accrual is more common and more helpful to business owners. But I will tell you, I get this question a lot, and I want you guys to know that you can switch between a cash and accrual super easily. So within the reports, you can just click which one you want. I think back when I used QuickBooks Desktop, you had to actually choose that ahead of time, and then it was harder to change. But on QuickBooks Online, you just click a button and it'll switch back and forth. All right, and then Britt asked about Bookkeeper Launch. She said, is it good for someone who wants to learn the basics or for growing their existing business? She's just starting out. So basically it's good for both, but you 110% would be helped by it if you are a new bookkeeper, because it literally starts at the very beginning and it talks about like accounting principles. It teaches you debits and credits and double entry bookkeeping and like what all these things mean starting from the very beginning. And then it helps you get like QuickBooks certified. And then it also helps you get clients and gives you tons of templates and information about that. And then it helps you set up your business as well. So it teaches you how to, set up your LLC and all that stuff. So it's so comprehensive, it's crazy. So if you want to invest in that, it's a great program. If you're just starting out, it's for you for sure. All right, and that is all the questions we have time for today, but I hope you guys found this helpful. Again, leave me a comment if you have a question, and a thumbs up helps this video a ton. It helps it get seen by other people on YouTube. All right, thank you guys for watching all my videos. I really appreciate you. All right, bye.